So fizzString is a real common problem. There's actually some videos on it you can watch. I recommend it. Although some of the code in there might be beyond things that we've learned so far. Now, I've put in just a couple things here. I have an if statement in case they throw us the empty string. Then our substrings would go out of bounds when we try to grab the first and last letters. I don't think they actually put the empty string in here, so it wouldn't be an issue if you didn't put that if, but it's always a good idea. The first letter, of any string can always be found by substringing 0, 1. It's real common. We should all know that. And the last letter of any string can be found by taking a substring of the string's length minus 1. So I've isolated the first and last letters. And I've written some code that's pretty good, but not quite perfect. If I run this code as it's written right now, I think I'll get a couple red boxes. And so sure enough, we do. Don't see any out of bounds errors, so it wasn't really like an out of bounds issue. But if you notice, my code never returned fizzbuzz. Even on cases when the word started with an F and ended with a B, and it was supposed to return fizzbuzz, it didn't. It returned fizz. Same with this weird word here, foob, and some of the other examples they gave us, like FB, and we don't really know what the other tests were, but something in there too. Well, how come? I wrote pretty good code, right? Here's how I identified first letter F, and I returned fizz, and I wrote pretty good code here, last letter B, and I said here that, if there's a first F and a last B to return fizzbuzz. So how come my code didn't do what I asked it to do? Well, again, it comes down to that, how you order your arguments and how your exceptions to the rule need to come first. This is the biggest exception, and nothing preempts this exception. Therefore, this exception needs to be listed first in your logic, So all I need to do right now to fix this is reorder the ifs, and now I've got a perfect fizzbuzz, So here's what was happening before. When I had this argument misplaced, and I had it down here, when the first letter F was located, my code immediately returned fizz. It was not allowed to later return buzz. That's not how a return method works. This isn't a print statement inside of a voided main method. This is a return method, and once you return that string, your code shuts down. That's exactly why I don't need to write the word else here. And even if I had written the word else, it wouldn't have mattered. It still would not have worked. So you have to always, especially in these logic puzzles, pay close attention to how you order your code. And also remember to always have a default return. So don't put all of your returns inside of ifs. Notice how I didn't label this last return. I didn't go on to say that, there's no first F or no last B. That might seem like innocent code to write it, but it would actually cause a compile error if I put this last return inside of its own if. If I make it this far in the code to the very bottom, then I know I didn't return fizz or buzz or fizzbuzz, and I'm just going to let it go. So pay attention to how you order your arguments in any type of logic puzzle.